Hello and welcome to the Millennial Mood Board podcast. I'm Pallavi Ganalin.
Hey, I'm Valerie Tassi, and we have a guest today.
We have a guest, Amy, a.k.a. Allison Silverberg.
I'm shimmying for some reason. Why am I shimmying?
I don't know. Bring him out.
So Jasmine's, she's out of town on the road.
With her family.
Boo. So we have a ringer today, the lovely Amy Silverberg.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
We thought you would be perfect for this episode because you have a PhD from USC in literature and creative writing. Double doctorate.
A double doctorate.
Double D's.
Double
You have double D's.
Yes.
You wrote a novel. You wrote a friggin' novel.
My debut novel came out this last year.
First time, long time. It's called A Must Read by Oprah, Daily, Vulture, W Magazine, Bomb Magazine, the Los Angeles Review of Books, Book Riot. Roxane Gay called it a brilliant novel about becoming more the person you're meant to be.
Okay, I just want some of that success. I'm just going to rub
and
you
meanwhile,
like
every
a
day
lamp.
I'm like, I'm a loser. You do nothing. That's
Literally
me.
every day I'm like, Amy would read more. I should read more.
Yeah.
I need to keep up with Amy.
Yeah. I'm like, Amy would
am
write
reading
more. I should write
okay,
more.
that
Yeah.
I'm not doing, but I am reading a lot, and I somehow managed to watch every reality show that comes across my.
Me too.
Yeah.
But that's how you empty out your brain for more books.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I feel like we're
kindred spirits.
Wow.
Okay, why don't you guys just start a podcast together? God.
I'm honored to be the third host.
Page turning. You
wouldn't even speak.
You know, that's getting very popular across the country of people meeting silently
I want to
in
do silent book
rooms.
clubs.
Yes.
Oh, that's
you
fun.
meet up in like a cafe or a place and you just read together and it's just like parallel play. It's really nice.
Oh,
They
I like
have
that.
one, I think it's called the Silver Lake Reading Club. Yeah.
Too bad I'm on the west side because I can't do that.
It's for all the people. Make one in Culver City. The Culver City.
I'm not going to Culver City either. That's too far.
Oh, okay.
You have to come to Valerie's house and read with her
Yeah,
silently.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
She's
Come
got
over.
cats, so
I do have cats.
But that is your background is relevant because today we're talking about the Scholastic Book Fair. Oh my goodness.
I did bring books that I would have purchased at a Scholastic Book Fair.
Okay, wait. We're gonna talk about our favorites at the end. I think, right?
Okay.
Right. I feel like that. Or do you want to? Okay, you can talk about
Let
it
me
now.
talk about my scary book.
I didn't know. Are you a horror girl? I don't think I knew that.
Oh,
Am I a horror girl? Hilarious. Yes.
she has
this is
Gillian
intro.
Anderson all over her apartment.
It's true.
Okay.
That's about horror and horny.
Okay.
yeah.
Scary stories to tell in the dark. I don't know if you guys remember these books that
I
scared
was
the
gonna
ever
talk
living
about
hell out of us.
So good.
They're so good. And while the stories are scary, the artwork is some of the most terrifying stuff you've ever seen.
This is something that I really love about books we grew up with is the illustrations. Whereas now I want to talk to you about how you feel about book covers because I feel like they're all like the same type of illustration, and I feel like there used to be an art to it. You
Yeah.
know, like artists who illustrated books.
Yeah.
Now it's so much about like, well, what's going to catch someone's eye? Should we do
Yeah.
it in a hologram? Should we do it as a this?
Well, and there's so many trends
Yeah,
too
like
that
the flat kind of imagery.
they go so quickly.
Yeah.
Like when I started choosing a book cover, they really wanted me to do like an illustrated. They sent me a lot of like sad women. like laying on their desks. I was like, no, I don't want a sad illustrated woman. And I wanted something a bit more like bright and graphic. But then that's already gone out of style. And now there's Maddie Connors. You guys know her.
Maddie!
She writes for the LA Times and she had written something.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she'd written something about this new trend of book covers that look like they're drawn by children. Like the trends just go so quickly.
I'm very irritated by all of the trends.
I'm irritated that there are trends. I just want you to want what you
want for your
Yes.
because it should like speak to the context of the book and the author.
Yeah.
Like it should make sense.
Well, what I learned from this whole process is how little or at least how little control I felt that I had. And I loved my editors and my publishing company. I think next time maybe I would be a little bit, I was so sort of just amazed that I'd sold a book that I was like,
That's so
whatever
cool.
you guys want. And I felt like I couldn't push back on anything. So I pushed back on some covers and then they brought me one I liked and I was like, okay, I'll take it. I was like afraid to kind of
do too much.
do too much, but you can't control how it's marketed. And that's like really stressful.
That's even for like reporters. Like they don't have control over their headline.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is like the
'Cause
thing
it's all
that
clickbait.
gets everyone's attention.
Yeah,
Right,
it's all
right,
clickbait now.
Right.
And then that's why so many people
No,
get
and then
mad.
yes, people will be yelling at the reporter who's like, I didn't choose
That's not
that.
me.
Like I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the way books are marketed, you can't control. So sometimes I'll be like, why is this being marketed like a romance novel? I'm a literary fiction writer, and then other times it's marketed in the exact way I want, and you just can't really control. You just hope people it'll find the right readers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think
Which
mostly
everyone
it
who's
has.
listening to this pod will pick up.
Yes.
Yeah, please
Do it.
Okay. So we're talking about the Scholastic Book Fair
Yes,
today.
the greatest week of our lives.
I need to show you something that's crazy because I watched. There's a YouTube channel called Dial Up Days, which is very similar to our pod. They cover these types of things. But the thing they started out with, I have to show you this because like I need you to guess who this person is.
Oh my
who's
God.
like the spokesperson.
Right there. Before you can read, you gotta find the right.
Do you know who that is?
And that's
Wait,
how
give me a
it is.
second.
But the people who bring the Scholastic Book Fair to your school
Wait a minute.
are
Is that Amanda Seals?
That's Amanda.
Oh my god!
In the mystery mall.
I was like,
And it's John Mulaney. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta see this.
But like she used to do these commercials for
Oh,
the
wow.
Scholastic Book Fair. She's been in this
Wow.
business for a while.
Was the Scholastic Book Fair across the entire country? Are you going to tell me
I'm
all this?
gonna
Okay.
go
I'm
into
rushing
it.
into it.
But
Let
yeah,
the lore wash over you, Amy.
let the Lord. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's very interesting. So it was started in 1920 by
1920.
This whole thing started. Yeah, that's a year.
Is that earlier than
That's-
you thought?
That's when
Yeah.
Val was born. So this. Jasmine and I are younger than her.
And every time
You
they
look
find a
19.
way-
You look 19.
Thank you.
Like 1920.
Go ahead, fetus.
1920.
So it started in 1920 by this guy named Maurice Robbie Robinson in a sewing room in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. He had gone to Dartmouth for college and he had worked on his college newspaper. And he was like, it's not fair that like high schoolers don't have like their own thing. So I want to start a magazine. I think initially it was mostly about sports for high schoolers. And then he made the Western Pennsylvania Scholastic, which was 4 pages, and it was delivered directly to classrooms across 50 different schools, high schools. So the main thing was that it was like direct to students.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like kind of the theme of the whole thing, right? And it
Of like, you don't have to go through a mediator of adults. We're going to give it right to the kids.
yes, that's where the excitement comes from.
Yeah.
It became Scholastic Magazine as more publications were created and distributed. And then in 1948, it became a book club business. So they partnered with publishers and allowed students to like order books directly via a monthly flyer. Like they'd pay a fee and they'd order. It's like a wine club, but like a book
Yeah,
club
but
for
for
kids
books.
back then. And they launched a teen book club in 1948, and that was like a hit and allowed them direct access to all these books. And then in 1957, it incorporated its first international subsidiary, Scholastic Canada. So it went international. And then in 1964, it did that for England and New Zealand. In 1968, in
Was this
Sydney.
one guy getting all that dough? Okay.
That's
interesting.
wild. I didn't realize that it was like international. I thought it was
Yeah.
just like a US thing.
Crazy.
Wow.
And then
Eyes light up.
I'm like, I
And
didn't
you
even
know I have a side job of facilitating book clubs for rich women in Los Angeles.
Wait, you
Yes.
do?
Yes.
Yes,
I work
that's
for a
why
company. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was allowed to say
No,
that,
no,
but
no.
like,
Go ahead.
she meets the most eccentric rich women and just like entertains them through literature.
Oh my God.
So
do
in
you
many
need a
ways,
clown?
I'm like a miniature
I feel like
scholastic.
she's also a clown.
Except
That's
it's
fair.
the company I work for that's making the money. I'm just a contractor, but
That's
happy
cool.
to.
So they also started publishing their own books, and then in the 70s they went into TV. And so from this started with Robbie, what's his face? Robbie Robinson, and then his son
What a
like a
name.
fake name.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
what a name.
that he went by Robbie, so
Okay.
Maurice Robinson. And then from 1975 to 2021 until his death, his son was the CEO and president. So it went from the father to the son.
And the Holy
Classic.
Spirit.
And the Holy Spirit. That's the spirit of reading. And then in 1987, they began trading on the NASDAQ. Scholastic.
Wait, what year was that?
1987. In 2000, they purchased, I don't know how to pronounce this. This is like my Love Island
I was
moment.
just gonna say.
I don't know how to pronounce this word. And so I'm going to use
Compromise.
a metaphor. Compromise. They purchased Grolier. Grolier for $400 million in
What is
2000.
Grolier?
It's one of the largest U.S. publishers of general encyclopedias.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, encyclopedias
then-
really took a hit with the computer, right?
Yeah.
With people not caring what words mean anymore.
Yeah.
Or I was going to say Wikipedia, but you're right. Just not caring.
But
Just
even
not
then, you had to
caring.
buy it in installments. So you're like, well, if I can help you, if it's from A to K, otherwise,
yeah.
We're going to have to subscribe to our own brains at some point.
Yeah,
so we're
I
going to have
know.
to pay like
Yeah.
a subscription
don't give them
fee.
any ideas, please.
Right, that's what Elon's working on right now. So then in like the 2000s, 2005, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2015, they started doing kind of like more educational things. They developed this thing called Fast Math with somebody named Tom Snyder to help them with to help kids with math through games and quizzes.
I could have used that. I could have used that now. Okay.
In 2011, they developed another program called Read 180 with somebody who has a really like soap opera name, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. I don't know.
Who's Southern Oil Baron?
Famous publishing company.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. How do you say it?
Houghton Mifflin.
Hooten. It's not Hooten.
It might be, but it's a famous publishing. They did
Hollerin'.
all the textbooks.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So they
Okay.
worked with them to develop this.
Wait, reading 180?
Read 180. It's called Read 180.
Oh, read 180. I thought reading 180 for old people.
You said reading ADD.
I'm not going to make the joke.
I thought it was read 180. Like
Read
you're
when you're
80 years
80.
old, still read.
I think that's just like somebody has to read to you because your eyes don't work anymore because we're all staring into the sun.
Reading 180.
Yeah, Pallavi does that for me now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, don't look at the comments, Val. Why am I using old voice?
Yo, I don't know.
February 2012, they acquired Weekly Reader Publishing from the Reader's Digest Association. And so the Weekly Reader had been this publication that had been around for over a century. And so they acquired it in February. In July of 2012, they discontinued it and co-branded as like the Scholastic News Weekly Reader. I'm just describing monopolization to you.
Yeah.
They developed another
I've already learned
system.
so much, to be honest.
Right?
My brain is like melting out of my head with all of this info.
This is how every episode that I run goes.
Yes. Jasmine and I are like nerd, pop culture. And then Pallavi's like,
like,
you ready for some facts?
Sorry, she's a scholar. She's an academic.
I know.
I love bullet points. Then December 2015, what do you think they made in December 2015 to expand? They've already done book clubs, publications, movies, TV. What do you think they
Did they do
expanded to?
Well, website?
or like Kindle or something like that?
Social media.
Podcasts. Yep. And then in 2020, they had their 100-year anniversary. So they had their structure of their company currently is they have the children's book publishing and distribution segment. They have education solutions and also like professional learning and consultancy services for schools to like teach better. And then they have their international segment. But what was really interesting to me was like how they expanded, because they expanded with all these book clubs and like selling stuff, which I'm going to talk about in more detail. But they also expanded with owning rights to things in like TV and movies. So they are the world's largest publisher and distributor of children's books and prints and digital educational
Is
materials.
this still, however we say it, Houghton Mifflin?
No. This is all Scholastic.
Oh, this is Scholastic.
Scholastic
Okay,
worked
okay.
with Houghton
Okay,
Mifflin
okay,
for
okay,
some of
okay,
the
okay.
educational tools, and
Okay.
they worked with like different
Got
people
it.
in the field. But this is all Scholastic. So what do you think they have the perpetual U.S. rights to that is very popular for kids that we grew up with?
Sesame Street?
Thomas the...
Wait, I don't know all the things they own the rights to, but like it's something that like was formative for our generation can't let go of.
Wait, give us a hint.
The Boy Who Lived.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah, when it came out, we were all excited. So they got the perpetual U.S. rights to that in 1997.
The rights meaning, what do they control?
I think like they have
whole
like
IP?
the publishing rights.
But doesn't, because I thought
the U.S. rights.
Does Disney own?
So it's technically, the publisher is technically Scholastic?
I think so.
Damn.
Hold on, I have to double check.
Rich.
I don't understand all the law stuff. Yeah, they hold the exclusive U.S. publishing and distribution rights for the Harry Potter book series.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
they also the next
That was
generation.
so smart of them.
I know, in '97, like that's right when
Damn.
it like before it even came out. Like I remember reading it in 5th grade, and that point I was like
Yes.
in 3rd grade.
Oh, so it was even before any like they
I don't
knew.
know. I'm guessing, or like
my
right when it
5th
came.
grade teacher read it to us like during class when we would have a break. It was like so sweet.
That's so nice.
I know.
Cute.
And now it's ruined.
I know.
They also acquired the rights to the Hunger Games, so they have it for every generation.
Oh,
That's not the only thing.
they're smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about different book series from when we were kids. What do you think they own the rights to that were prominent at like the book fair that you can remember?
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Babysitters Club.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Babysitter's Club meant a lot to me because I'm a type 1 diabetic, and there was a type 1 diabetic
Yeah,
character.
representation.
Yes, and there wasn't. There still aren't very many of us. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that about you.
I got my little. Wait, where is it?
Oh, it's right there.
Where is it? Oh no, I forgot to put it on.
I did stand
That's
up
like-
on a cruise, and I thought everybody was a type 1 diabetic, and then it turned out people just had nausea patches. It was a real.
You're like, is this a
that's my
diabetes
culture.
cruise?
You're on stage being
Not
like,
your
"What's your blood
costume."
sugar?" Yeah, Nick Jonas, is our main guy. We don't have a ton. Yeah, damn. Okay.
That's so funny because Priyanka Chopra is our main girl, and we don't really like her.
Yeah, Nick Jonas hasn't really done much for me personally, and I keep tagging him, and he never will respond. Okay, so
I have a picture with him.
You do?
I'm at them.
Can you
Wait, why'd you say,
Photoshop my
like that?
Can you Photoshop my head onto your body?
Or
Finally,
just-
I'll have big tits.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Nice. Yeah. Wait. What size are? I'm so sorry.
A
We're
minus.
on a podcast
sorry.
about books.
I want the audience to know that I'm large and I contain multitudes.
I'm just
You
trying.
do. You actually really do.
I'm just trying to make sure there's something for everyone on this podcast because like people that aren't nerdy are starting to tune out. So I'm
So
like,
we gotta
kids,
talk about-
Dare you? I'm fine. I'm not. but
Okay,
it's
so
fine.
Goosebumps?
Big tits.
Yes.
Okay, Goosebumps.
They don't have Babysitter's Club, which meant a
They
lot
do.
to
No,
me.
they
Oh,
do.
they
They
do.
do. Yeah.
Okay.
Boxcar Children.
I'm not sure about Boxcar Children.
What
I'm
about?
interested in Nancy Drew just because it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Oh, I should
Or
have
Hardy
looked all
Boys,
this
too.
stuff
Hardy
up.
Boys. Are they brother? Are they?
So Random House has Boxcar Children.
Okay.
Um,
What the hell else did we get?
Are Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys written by the same person?
I think so.
They
Yeah.
seem like
'Cause they
brother
have- they have
sister.
crossover.
Yeah.
They're like parallel.
Some of them are public domain. Oh,
Damn.
Simon and Schuster? I don't know. Okay, I'll just tell you. I don't know how to write games for these types of nerdy topics.
Okay.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I remember that specifically at book fairs.
They got me. They got me with the
You
Big
know
Red
I'm a
Dog.
Clifford
Yeah.
girl. I don't know if
I
you guys
love
know that. I'm sorry.
I also know somebody in real life named Emily Elizabeth as their first and middle name.
Yeah, anyone that's Catholic.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Magic School Bus.
Oh, I love. Okay, I still think probably once a month about the episode or the
Where they
book.
go in the body.
Yes, where they go
Same.
in the body.
Same. That episode
That
was
had
crazy.
such a profound effect on me.
Yeah.
The idea of the
because
little
we
school
weren't
bus.
being taught anatomy.
No.
Honestly.
No.
to be in the intestine. It was like
It was wild.
Yes.
And then like surfing on a cell or whatever.
Yes,
Like
I would have
that was
dreams
really
about it
cool.
for many years after about being in the intestines.
Yeah. We're all learning
Maybe
a lot
we
about
all-
Amy today.
We all have IBS as a generation as a
I
result.
got GERD for sure.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
nah, it's just
Horrible Histories.
what is
I don't
horrible
know that
histories?
one.
I don't know
I
that.
think a series of books of historical
that new?
events that are
Oh.
full of blood, battles, and black humor.
What about all the
It's like for
dark humor?
boys, for like bad boys.
Bad Boys.
What about all the Judy Blume books? Do they have those?
Judy Blume books, actually, I was watching this documentary and they have been around since like the 40s
Right.
and they were distributing them. I don't know if they have the rights to it, but they were distributing them like at their book clubs in like the 40s.
Isn't there a good documentary about Judy Blume out? I think someone was telling me to watch it.
I think so, maybe.
I feel like that. I remember her being in the zeitgeist recently. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like, yeah. I have
Are
to-
you their god? Did
Team
you do that?
Margaret.
Oh,
Yeah,
that movie
Yeah.
came out.
Okay.
Yeah. It was my friend was in it, Echo.
Oh.
That one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think I
What
I
about the
think-
Wayside School ones?
Oh
Like,
my God, I
do you remember those? Yeah.
I don't-
Sideways
I'm
Tales
not-
from Wayside High.
And then like one kid was made out of rats in a trench coat. I always think about that.
Or the like, and then there's the other one too that's like a werewolf, blah 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 blah, or like vampires, something something something. I can't remember, but they were all like monstery books. But they like,
I always think about Banicula.
oh yeah, Banicula.
Okay, these got past me.
Horror nerd.
Apparently, Chris Kattan voiced Bunnicula.
Really?
That's so funny.
Okay. The other ones that I said Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Okay.
Captain
Diary of a
Underpants.
Wimpy. I feel like the newer generation still like Diary of a Wimpy.
I
Kid.
think
That's
like
that's
the
like
newer
just
stuff
my, I
later.
think like my brother and sister is like
Animorphs and I
Animorphs.
Spy books.
I
like
Spy.
yeah, like just looking at stuff, trying to find it.
I love that they were like, you know what we should do? Let the kids look.
Let them look.
Let them spot things.
There were also a bunch of books that they co-produced with, the picture companies, including Babysitter's Club, The Clifford Movies, Goosebumps, Captain Underpants, but also Indian in the Cupboard, Tuck Everlasting.
one of the most devastating books of all time. It's one of my favorite
Speaking
books
of
to
time.
this day, and
So
it's
crazy. I loved it.
So good. Did you
I
see
read
the
it in
movie?
4th grade. I think I might have, but it was like a long time ago.
Okay.
But I always, when I was growing up, I just looked at I still kind of do this. I look at the book and movie as two different things.
Yeah.
Completely.
I'm like one of those really annoying people that anytime someone names a movie or a TV show, I'm like, I read the book. I read the book. I actually didn't even bother to watch the movie. I'm like, shut up, Amy. The only reason why I didn't bother to watch the movie is I'm too busy watching like Polly Family on TLC. You know, I'm like watching every dumbass TV.
I don't think I can watch Polly Family because I grew up in Utah. And
What
I
are
think
these
it hits
fucking
different.
shows you guys
No,
are
it's crazy.
watching?
I'll watch any reality show,
I know.
but
I
I
don't
won't.
watch- me
I don't
too.
watch any.
But
Honestly?
my big one is The Queen's Gambit. The book is so good and moving, and I didn't watch the show, but people told me the show's so good.
The show was good.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I did not
I
read
should
the book.
read it.
It's really good.
They also made, did I say Golden Compass?
Oh, I remember that.
Yep.
The Bad Guys, that cartoon movie where they're
remember
like
that
trying to do like all the animals are doing a heist. Right.
That's fun.
I mean, I like the idea of that.
And Dog Man, which I think came out recently.
Sounds right up Amy's alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy's obsessed with dogs. For
I
those
think
of you that
I
don't know.
look
Is
like
a
a
wiener
wiener
dog.
dog. I think and I say that as a compliment to myself.
Sometimes
Small body,
I'll just
feisty.
I'll text Amy, arf, arf.
Yes, and that's what I like. That's what I like.
Just to see how she's doing.
Yeah,
You know?
and I go arf arf when I'm
And
doing
I'm like,
good.
she's good.
Okay, speaking of dogs, one of the most devastating books of all time, and one of my favorite books that I read every couple years.
Oh
You
no.
know.
Oh no. I know.
Is it
what
Where
you're
the
gonna
Red Fern
say.
Grows?
Yes. That book, the first time I read it, is like the first visceral moment I have sobbing in a
Yes.
book.
I went to an
Sobbing.
elementary school where they read a lot of books aloud to us, probably a bad sign. And
So
they
bad.
read Where the Red Fern Grows, and I remember crying in front of the whole class and thinking it was so embarrassing. Like I was so
Sobbing.
Did you guys ever read White Fang?
yeah, back in the day.
That
think
one was
so.
like, I am a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
That one was like,
You're like, why do I feel that I'm a husky?
why do I feel like I'm biting something right
Yeah,
now?
Yeah, or like Hatchet.
Yeah.
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 Oh, maybe I'm mixing those
Where
up.
the Red Fern Grows.
That
is-
book, because
Yeah.
like I remember too, even like because we would go, like we didn't have money growing up, but one of the things we did was my parents had friends that they grew up with that had a cabin up in like bumfuck Maine, and so we would go up there for the summer, and I just remember running through the woods of Maine, like pretending
Wild
that I
and
was
free.
like, I like
Yeah.
had those dogs and was like looking for raccoons and
I
like all
love
that,
that.
stuff. Like
I wasn't allowed to do that. I just had to pretend to be Simba in my living room.
they didn't let you out.
They wouldn't let me out. They wouldn't let me run wild and free.
What year did Where the Red Fern Grows
It's old.
come out?
'cause
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
It came out
But it really,
in
like,
1961. It
yeah.
was by
stands
Wilson
the-
Rawls.
Yeah.
Test of time, doesn't it?
It really,
Feels
really
like.
does. It made me want to go to. I still haven't been, but it made me really want to go to the Ozarks and like because it was so like the imagery was
Yeah.
so like visceral. that
Yeah.
I'm
Very
like,
different than the show The Ozarks.
yeah.
Very different.
Yeah.
Barely
Also,
any dogs in
apparently
that
the
show.
Ozarks are like hella haunted and stuff too. That it's like
That makes
there's a lot
sense.
of weird stuff that happens up there.
All of
the
America
Ozarks?
pretty haunted.
Yeah.
Appalachia, like that too.
Appalachia.
Appalachia.
Okay. So let's talk about the book fairs specifically, because that's what was near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
In 1981 or 1982, Scholastic purchased the California School Book Fair and which was a book fair company that was like running book fairs on the West Coast. And at the time, in the early 80s, book fairs were like fragmented. There were some national ones, there were some local ones, like the book fair companies. But they were like very competitive and very secretive. So sometimes they would truck in books like overnight to do like a secret book fair so that competition wouldn't like get there
That's
first.
so okay.
Yeah.
You got to write a pilot about.
Honestly, every episode of this pod, it's like a pilot.
I
to
know.
me.
Yeah, the idea of the competition in the book fair of like who's getting, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll cut this. You and I will do that.
Okay.
So
excuse me.
Okay, the three of us will do that. Okay, and I'm looking at my phone to make sure I've taken enough insulin, not because I'm bored. Okay.
Good. Okay, so in the 1980s, book fairs around that time brought in about like $1,500, and then schools got 20 to 30% of the revenue. And at the time, books cost like 75 cents to $3.95.
Oh, dude, look at this. $3.95 right on the cover.
They don't want us to learn. They want to keep us illiterate so that we will be an uneducated proletariat.
Yep. The dumber we are, the easier we are to control.
Yeah. Okay, in 1983, after 2 years, Scholastic had become one of the 3 big book fair companies. So they had built up. And then by the early 1990s, they were hosting over 120,000 fairs annually.
I guess
selling over 100 million books to over 35 million kids every year.
It never occurred to me that they had competition.
Yeah,
from
I
other
can't
book
remember
fairs.
any other ones
Yeah,
besides
yeah.
Scholastic.
Branding, you know, that's what they said, that the Scholastic Book Fair just became synonymous with school book fair.
Right.
But any branding, you know, is a monopoly. Right?
Well, I also remember one of them said Troll. Was that another one of the...
Kroll Associates was the rival to Scholastic in the 90s.
Because I remember those two.
Okay,
'cause
now we're talking.
there we go, baby. Because I remember, you know that like paper that they used to use for the forms?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's so specific. And I remember the Scholastic ones, and then I remember the Troll ones.
Yeah.
Oh, man. To go back.
So this is a very millennial Gen X experience, obviously. And part of the reason that Scholastic was more successful than its rivals was because they already had the book club infrastructure from like early on. So they had relationships with schools, distributors, catalogs, like everybody they needed to have a relationship with in order to like pursue expanding. And they knew how to get books into and out of schools like really efficiently. Do you remember those carts?
Yes,
And they would
I remember
have
carts.
the books on the carts, and they would just unpack the cart,
and they
and
would
it was
open
already a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And you would go through the carts.
And so it was like these mobile metal cases that already were doubling as bookshelves. And then they would just get volunteer parents and teachers to handle everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
So they would set up, they would tear down, they would sell, and then they would just split the profits. Like Scholastic had over 40 regional warehouses, so they could go to all these different areas.
And if they didn't sell all the books, would the school get to?
Yeah, so it was a consignment method, and which was a much better incentive than them having to like buy and like a makeup Mary Kay sort of situation, because the schools
MLM of books.
Yeah, literally. But it wasn't that. They would just like have these mobile bookshelves. They would sell what they could, and they would take the rest back, right? And so then the schools could get books, supplies, equipment, or a portion of the proceeds from the book fair. In 2024, how much do you think book fairs made?
In 2024?
Did they make more money than back in the day? Because physical media doesn't like, okay.
Well,
I
also
don't
think
know.
about how much
People
more
aren't reading as
expensive
much.
everything
That's
is,
the other
though.
thing too, though,
This is nationally how much they made in 1 year.
I don't know if it's nationally. I think it's nationally because it's from that one.
I'm gonna go 10 million. Is that crazy?
Oh, I think it's probably more than that.
Oh,
$541.6 million. That's almost more than half of the company's revenue in the children's book publishing and distribution segment, just $955 million. Schools received over $200 million in proceeds and cash and credits from these book fairs. So it was like over $500 million.
That's such an insane amount of money that I can't even wrap my head around it.
But that's like just in what they made from the book fairs. But then imagine they have the rights to all these books too.
Yeah. So they're also, they have all that IP. So they're like, wow.
Yeah. They also had merch, gel pens, the hang in their baby cat poster.
Oh, yeah.
Gel
Book
lids,
Yep,
mechanical
bookmarks,
pencils,
cool
lock
erasers.
diaries that you thought your parents could never get into. Spy gadget. Remember all the spy gadgets? Harriet the Spy. Remember, like
I loved Harriet
we
the
all
Spy.
wanted to
Me
be
too.
spies.
yeah. I still want to be a spy.
Oh, that was Michelle Trachtenberg too,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
may she rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I know, she's beautiful.
Man, those gel pens.
I still have
I
some.
know.
You can
Oh, and
still buy 'em.
a mechanical pencil too gave me such a thrill.
Yeah.
To get a fancy mechanical pencil.
Or the pens that, okay, so what were the ones the pencils that you would sharpen and they would be like all the crazy colors? Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what they're
Sometimes
called.
they had like just weird shit, like scented erasers.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
All those little tiny erasers, like the bunny erasers. I remember
and
my
then
sister.
you'd push them up.
Yeah, and then my
Yeah.
sister shoved some of those bunny erasers up her nose and had to get them removed at the hospital.
She was trying to erase herself.
oh, damn. So sad.
So dark. Jesus.
My bad. They also sold action figures, which isn't technically books, but associated with books.
And what were the action figures from the books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Smart.
just had all the cool shit. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
And then you also had all the books. So
They probably have like Funko Pops now and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Yeah.
That's good. Good call.
they the perks of this was literacy. Like teachers loved it. There were class competitions for reading.
Literacy.
And then kids also, we'll get to this later in the negative aspects of it, but kids also had to budget because you would get the catalog in advance and you would
Girl, I
circle all
know.
these things. And it's like your parents are giving you like $10. Which books are you going to buy? How much can you calculate? And so like we would learn how to do math in that way too, kind of. But also, this is from a Scholastic report, so take it with a grain of salt. They said 91% of kids aged 6 to 17 said their favorite books are the ones they picked out themselves. So it gave kids like choice and agency over what they were reading, which means they were more likely to finish it and enjoy it.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
That it
it
wasn't
makes
pushed
sense.
on you by your like
Yeah.
teacher. or
Yeah.
the
We already have
curriculum.
text- part of the
Let us
list.
pick what we
Yeah,
wanna read.
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. Like someone just let me pick what I want to read.
Every week I send Valerie a list of things she needs to read, and she's like, I won't read what Amy wants me
I
to
won't
read.
do it. I won't do it.
So they also like had a lot of like really fun experiences from getting the catalogs and strategizing, from looking at all the. Remember when you would go in and you'd like smell the new books?
Yeah.
I still love that smell.
Yeah, me too.
And then they got to leave class and they got to like, it's like shopping with friends at
Yeah.
school.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
How
Like when they
fucking
would
fun
be
is
like,
that?
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's your turn to go to
Yes.
the book
And
fair.
it was like
We'd
a
be-
week long.
Yeah.
You like look through the window at
Yes.
it when other classes got to go.
No, you're so right that the aspect of like shopping in the middle of the day at school was
Yeah.
like,
It's like, it's like your
thrill.
little mall.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they would have it open 2 in the morning so you could go before school
Yeah.
started.
Yeah,
so if
yeah,
you got there
yeah.
early enough, you're just like slugging down your tiny little cardboard orange juice running to the book fair. Like, ugh.
It made it just like more of like a social thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The reading book clubs. Back
remember-
to when we were children.
I remember too, like there'd be nerdy books and you'd be looking at them and then like
With,
the
like,
popular
science
people would come
books,
in and
yeah.
you'd be like, oh, I'm going to put that away.
Yeah. Or like sometimes they had like chemistry sets and things, right?
Yeah, or like
at-home.
geode stuff, or like, you know, when you could like
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
rocks.
yeah, and like you
I went
could
through a
grow
big
stuff.
rock period.
Yeah, but now everybody's going through like a crystals period.
Yeah, I guess we're back.
Same
in-
thing,
Millennials
different
are back
name.
in like, yeah.
And then it also made, for some places that didn't have access to good like libraries or places with books, it also gave them just like access to physical books.
Yeah.
Um,
That's interesting.
yes, but Scholastic, remember, it's a monopoly. So at the end of the day, capitalism. So they have had a few controversies.
No way.
Better for our pilot.
Do you guys remember a controversy within the political zeitgeist within the last few years? Like, what would Scholastic have?
Oh, banned books.
Yep. October 2023, they created a separate category for books dealing with race, LGBTQ, and other issues related to diversity to allow some schools to opt out of carrying these books.
I hate
Their
it.
defense was that there's like a lot of legislation in a lot of different states that were moving to ban these books, but after a ton of backlash from educators, authors, free speech groups,
Yeah,
Scholastic.
I'm like the ACLU would have, I feel like, pushed back on that.
Scholastic changed their mind and then discontinued the new category, saying it is unsettling that the current divisive landscape in the U.S. is creating an environment that could deny any child access to books, or that teachers could be penalized for creating access to all stories for their students. It's amazing how money will make you change your mind.
Yeah.
But
Just making me think like how crucial it would have been for like a kid in Alabama with like religious parents to like open up a gay book and like
Yeah.
realize, you know, I guess they have the internet now too, but when we were young,
But back
it was
then,
like,
you
yeah,
had-
you
you didn't have access
read
to
to
that.
find yourself.
But also,
half
I
the
think
time.
like the internet can be very harsh.
Yes,
And so
yes.
like their internet might be a bubble of people saying that being gay is wrong.
Right.
Whereas like books that kind of really develop, I don't know. Let me explain why books are good to you, Amy.
No, I mean, but that is why people read
Like
is
developing
to also
characters,
to find
community.
themselves
Yeah,
inside the
exactly.
book and be like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's so
Especially
disturbing.
if you were like a nerdy kid and you were really isolated, then you would like that's what you would lose yourself in. I remember, okay, when I was in 4th grade, they did a contest where it was all-star readers, and everybody had a little paper baseball that went up on the bulletin board with your name on it, and for every book you read that you did like one little like page report thing on, you got a gold star. By the end of the year, I had read 150 books because I was such a nerd. And like, that's like, I had such a hard time and like isolated myself from like my parents because they were all wacky. So it was the only thing I just would lock myself from.
I would
and just
literally
read.
like hide behind the couch. I had books everywhere. I would read at the table. I would read on the toilet. I would read behind the couch.
Everywhere.
I'm gonna cry thinking about you guys being little and reading. That's
I know.
so sweet.
I was like, I would like hide under my covers.
Yep.
I also, there was a point at which I wanted to be like a pioneer from playing Oregon Trail too often. And so I tried to read by candlelight. And my parents were like, use the fucking light.
That's
Like, what is
so
Weren't our
wrong
parents
with
always
you?
so worried about our eyesight growing up? That
I
way,
know.
it was always
And now
read
they're
with
like
light.
driving with cataracts. I'm like, go to the doctor.
I know I shared a room with my sister growing up and we were 7 years apart. So she was so much younger and she would obviously, she'd have an earlier bedtime.
Yeah.
So I'd be up like in my little twin bed with like the covers over and like a little flashlight trying to read.
I just saw your clip today of your joke about being in the same room with her.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
loved it.
That's what made me think of it. Yeah. Cause it was crazy. Cause
Yeah.
in the joke, it's like, she's like, should I have a tea party with my friend? I'm like, I don't know. Should I let Chad finger me behind the bleachers? Like, I don't know.
A 17-year-old asking a 10-year-old.
Like it's so messed up. Like we should not have been
You know,
sharing a
this
room.
thing is happening. I can't speak to it enough because I'm not. I don't know enough about it. But my friends who have moved to some of these red southern states to teach, like they got their
Yeah.
doctorates with me, they have to send in their syllabi. This is at the college
fucking
level.
crazy. Oh man.
And then they'll get pushback of like, don't teach Carmen Maria Machado or something like that. Like, don't teach this LGBTQ book, which it's so.
Which isn't it's a person, not the book. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
I don't know that what the pushback's been. All I know is just the idea that so I shouldn't say that. The idea that they have to send it for approval. Your syllabi
in Texas,
to
they have to.
Yes,
they
yes.
have to promise that they won't participate in BDS from Israel. They have to make a statement of like a pledge of allegiance to Israel in Texas.
And now I have friends who are like, well, I'm not going to move somewhere like that to teach.
Yeah,
you know,
but-
so they're getting a dearth of educators. And
Yeah.
I guess
One of my
and they're getting
favorite.
the
Yeah, no, me
ones that
too.
are very conservative that are going
Right,
to
and of course
there,
I'm
and
talking
then-
at a college level, but like college is where you also experience new ideas, and especially if you grew up in like a religious Republican house, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember going to
Yeah.
college and just like my mind and like was so blown just by I mean, where I'm from is like, it's even now, I just was home a few days ago back in Massachusetts, and where I'm from is so white, and it still is. And to finally go to college and experience diversity was like such an eye-opening experience because you're finally immersed in
And
with
that
people
also includes like diversity of thoughts.
Exactly.
You know?
And of gender expression
Yes,
and all
yes,
that stuff. So
yes.
you're finally all of a sudden you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's such an important thing for people to experience because if you grow up in a small town like that, that's all you know. And
Yeah.
and that's the thing is like sometimes people are inherently bad, but sometimes it's like that's what they've been taught and they just don't know any
Exposure.
better.
Sure. Yeah.
I spent my entire
Where did you
childhood.
grow up again? Will you
I grew
remind
up in
me?
Utah.
Right.
I spent my entire childhood trying to get good grades and pad my resume to get the fuck out of Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I was very depressed. I was very depressed, especially this
was
summer.
like
before.
90% of your neighborhood or schools
Lots
Mormon?
of Mormons.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I went to a public high school in inner city Utah, so that was like a little bit better.
Yeah.
So there was more diversity there. But I was working overtime to get the fuck out. And
Yeah.
like I was so depressed like that last summer, but the only thing that got me through was knowing that I was going to California.
Yeah.
Because I went to Caltech for undergrad.
Yeah.
And the way it switched, like I remember being in like my biology lab and we were all telling these like crazy stories when like our parents would come home or whatever, they would like have to put out the Bible. Like they would have to put out the religious stuff and like hide the science. It was like the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like people reading all these like atheist books and people being ashamed of being religious. It was like
Wow, damn.
and like both are extremes.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But it was so funny coming from like Mormon Utah
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
being like, oh, you believe in God, you fucking idiot. Like
That's so funny.
and like there was like a Christian fellowship club at the club fair. So then just trolls made the Satanic Fellowship Club right next to them just to
Right.
be silly.
Right.
So it
Right.
was like it was so silly, but it was definitely Science Island. So I got like
Science Island.
1,000%.
I went to a big
where
party
everyone
college.
knows how to pronounce words.
And I remembered Mormon missionaries coming and people like throwing beer cans at them. It was so rude. And
I know. I always felt like a lot of empathy for like
Yeah.
little Mormon
yeah.
kids outside. But then I would always be like, oh my God, you're Mormon. I'm from Utah. And they'd be like, well, you approached me, so let's talk about Jesus. And I'm like, stop harshing the vibe, dude. I'm trying to hang out.
I'm just trying to chat with you about like
trying to,
soda
like-
fountains.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm just trying to see which high school you went to, if any of your friends were in High School Musical.
And of course, I watched Real Housewives of.
That's more recent. We'll talk about that. Okay, so that was one of the controversies. What's it like? What are other things do you think that were problems with the Scholastic Book Fair?
Certain kids not being able to afford it.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So some people would think it was like unnecessary spending at school and like encouraging kids to participate in consumerism.
Do you think
but
that's
also,
why I like gambling from the Scholastic Book Fair?
That's what Kelsey right
I
now.
also love gambling, so maybe.
yeah.
Fun fact: when I was home, I just won $900 on Keno.
What? Well, and you know, I'm a poker player. Meanwhile, I'm there
know,
in the
and
Scholastic Book Fair being like,
hate gambling.
Oh, I love it so much.
I'm like, no, this is making me anxious, and I don't want to be
responsible.
No, I don't know. I'm like, I want to have.
Let's go ruin our lives.
it's also like I'm not really a substance user, you know? So I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the high I can get? Like, I drink a little bit. I'm like,
Maybe
you
that's
know.
why I surround myself with animals. I'm like, you never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to your house and be like, I bet you $10 that your dog is gonna.
Scratch the shit out of you. So yeah, there was like a lot of people had nostalgia for it, but a lot of people like really like was difficult in their childhoods because there was so much income inequality.
So other kids are like getting
So
big stacks
Some
and
kids
they're getting
are getting
nothing.
like a lot of and then others could only watch, or they just remembered like being broke and not having as much. Scholastic tried to address this by creating the All for Books program, which was like a funding program to make sure all students could take something home. And then they also matched donations for under-resourced schools, providing 1 million free books. Some schools provided PTA funds to kind of make up for what students couldn't afford, but it's still kind of like you're watching like your money come from somewhere else. You know what I mean?
It's also hard as a kid too, because like a lot of kids when they grow up without money, it's like you don't want to. It's like, or like school lunch too, and it's like, oh, we don't charge them for that, and then it's like in front of other people.
Yeah,
and the
you're like,
kids
I
have
don't
to
want to
deal
draw
with that
attention
shame.
to myself that I have to get the free book.
Exactly.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
there's like, how do you do it under the radar where the other kids don't know?
And also, I bet there's like probably like, I mean, I was very like lucky to grow up in the house that I grew up in. But I bet there's also probably a lot of like guilt of like, if I get this book versus like doing something for my family or like, you know, if my family can't afford food or whatever, clothing. So I bet there was like a lot of that too, where they felt a lot more responsibility than they should have.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more we can do. Another thing that people thought about was that it would like disrupt school activities, but we don't give a shit. We love Book Fair
No,
Week.
yeah,
We
come
love Book Fair.
on.
We fucking love Shark Week too. Okay.
Disrupt school activity. Come on.
What updates do you? So they still are making a fuck ton of money, $500 million. What updates do you think they have had to the book fair since we were there? Because when we were there, we had the catalog, we planned it out.
It's gonna be all online
Yeah,
now,
like
right?
how many kids are using like a Kindle now and everything like
So
that?
there's that. There's also a book fair app to preview books. Which I'm very into physical media. I love doodling and like circling things and planning things. We all have notebooks for our comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's boring. I don't want my kid to have to look at a screen to like go get a book. You know?
It's great. Yeah, it's just too much screen time. It's just
My dogs are already getting too much screen time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because your dogs are watching Polly Family when
Yeah.
you're gone.
My one dog really loves what's the Super Bowl, the dog version?
Oh, Puppy Bowl.
Puppy
Yeah,
Bowl.
Puppy Bowl. He loves
cute.
it. They also have e-wallets for cashless payments, which I don't.
It's like everything's just going full
I know.
tech.
I
Hand
remember when
your
we-
kid at 20 and just be done with it. Lord.
I know. When I was I remember in first grade, what really sparked my love of reading was my mom was late. Big surprise. Shout out, Mom. And you know how they used to be like 25 cents for a payphone, but then they added it to 35 cents at some point. So I had a quarter and a dime, and I knew my mom was coming because she called my teacher and said that she was going to be late. And I was like, okay, I want to go to the library, which is where I always went when I had free time. And so I went up there, and they had a bin full of 25-cent books. And I was like, oh my God. what if I just got a book? And I remember I have the memory of like the librarian. I'm like, what book should I get? And she hands me The Hobbit. And I read it in first grade. And like that.
In first grade?
That's advanced.
I read a lot of shit that I didn't understand early.
Yeah, I guess I
impressive,
did that too.
Like I read David Copperfield in like second grade.
Yeah.
And I was
Dickens.
like,
Yeah.
this guy's not a magician.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
and that like that's like such a reading memory for me in terms of like loving fantasy and world building and like just like diving into the world of a book. And so like that handing a quarter and getting the book back was like so, such a warm memory for me. I feel like sometimes like screens take away from that.
For
It's not
sure.
that they can't be, but
Yeah, I grew up in a house where my parents had no sense of like what was appropriate. So, they were listening to Howard Stern. I was like in the back seat, and my mom would like read me books for bedtime that were like adult books about like women going through divorces and like
so funny.
yes,
What?
yes. She would just
Wait,
be
have
like,
you seen
so
the
funny.
mom who turns the like Real Housewives franchises into stories
Yes,
for her
that's-
kids?
yes,
but
yes.
but she's like,
Yes.
and there was a princess, and
Stop.
she didn't
Yes,
like
I
that
love
another princess.
Yeah, I remember liking adult books early on. Not even like adult, like as in like advanced, but like about adult themes because my
That's so
mom
funny.
was like reading.
That is
I used to read like younger books. Like I remember reading like Sweet Valley High and all of that. And then my parents at some point were like, stop reading this trash, read novels, read classics. So then I like dove into fucking David Copperfield. It took me the number of times it took me to read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
I
Because
never
I-
read that. There are a few that have just
It's like
escaped
3 pages of naming mollusks. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I hate this.
That's like Kate Chopin's The Awakening, where it's like, how many pages can you describe lace, bitch?
Yeah.
My God.
I remember that from college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awakening.
Yeah. So I was very stubborn about finishing books, but yeah. So that's what they have. They also in 2020, they had, with COVID and everything, the revenue dropped. They tried virtual book fairs and drive-through pickups, but it wasn't the same.
You okay?
Jesus. Got hard for me.
But back in 2022, they came back strong. They recovered.
I don't think I realized, of course, I don't have children, that it was still
It's
so
still a thing.
up
But
and
that's
running.
also,
Yeah.
I think, part of the reason people love having kids is
Yeah.
reliving their childhood
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Granted, it's like updated and changed.
Yeah.
But
It's like almost worth it to do.
I mean, I know it has problems, but I'm like kind of proud of the book fairs for still
I think
like
it's still like, capitalism and consumerism and inequality and stuff, but also like I miss the excitement for learning. Like
Yes.
there's a very like robust anti-intellectualism movement
Yes.
in this country and
Don't I
other
know
countries.
it. Yeah.
And it's just like horrific. So anything that can get kids to
and
like
like
read
mental
or
health. Like when I taught at LMU a few semesters ago, and the amount of
Professor.
students
She also, she teaches.
that had like such anxiety, understandably. And it's like so much of it, and I'm not diagnosing them, in their opinion, was of being on their screens all the time and
I
having
feel it.
such, me too. And so I think this idea of like forcing yourself to have the attention for reading, I like only teach short stories, but even just them being forced to read a short story.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to just like be able to be in your head without panicking.
And to concentrate on something
Yeah.
and only one thing for an extended period of time.
I was on another podcast talking to another professor named Ramzi Fawaz, and he was talking about how they were talking about how their students they had to like tell their students like how to read. Like you have to sit up. You have to like be in a calm environment. You have to like have good lighting, like because
didn't
people
do that.
don't know
yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I didn't even think of like not teaching somebody how to read, but how to like prep to read, I guess.
The amount of concentration it now takes, even me.
Oh,
and
me
I'm
too.
such a reader.
There's
I
such
used to be
screens
able
everywhere.
to like be in a public space and do whatever and not really and like lose yourself in the book. And now it's like, oh, I can't be in the same room if the TV's on and try to read.
you have
I
to
need
practice.
go.
You
Yeah.
have to have that like plasticity.
I just
going.
can't believe how much happier I feel when if in the first thing I do in the morning and the first thing I do before I go to bed is read, as
Yeah.
opposed to look at my phone.
I just do it in the middle of the day. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like in the middle of work. I'll be like, I need a break.
well, I always say this to my students, but like when you watch a bunch of TV or you're on your phone, it always feels like you've wasted time.
Yeah.
And when you've read a book, it always feels like you've created time. Like time expands when
Yeah.
you're reading. And if I got to the end of my life, and I was like, all I did was read, I would feel like it was a life well spent.
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm dapping.
Fuck it.
Beautiful,
so
beautiful
unserious.
statement from Professor Big Jugs over here.
Yeah, don't forget my email's bigjugsrule@gmail.com, and anyone can email
really
me at
is. And I literally was like, is Amy's email still Big Jugs?
When I did, Ian Carmel's podcast. You guys know that one, the fantasy, all fantasy, everything. And a bunch
Yes.
of women emailed me their boobs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So feel free, the listeners of this, to email me your boobs. I'd love to see your boobs maybe with a book in front
a bunch
of
of
them.
men's boobs that you get.
And
Do you? Are
no
you?
weens.
We need to talk about. Wait. Okay. We'll talk about our favorite books,
Okay.
and then we got to talk about book talk. What? Okay. Some of my favorite books. I remember reading. Ramona the Pest taught me how to read chapter books.
Yes.
Say it again.
Ramona the Pest.
Love Ramona.
Beverly Cleary.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beverly Cleary
was
come on.
amazing.
And then Tuck Everlasting. Ella Enchanted made me want to, like, I know Lucinda was like the bad fairy, but it always made me want to smell good because they smelled the lilacs before she walked into a room. So
Okay,
like,
well, now I'm embarrassed because I only know that as a movie.
Yeah, me
Ella
too.
Enchanted. Yeah.
Me too.
no, it was like, I loved it because of all the animals and everything. It was, I loved it. But like, there are all these like things that are, you know how like the music that we grew up with like sticks in your head more?
Yeah.
That's how I felt about books. And like all the places I want to travel
Yeah.
are like, James Joyce Dubliners.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Morocco from like, I think it's a book called like The Horse Boy or something, like The Horse Thief or something
Okay.
like that. Like all of these places that I want to travel are because of like books I read.
I used to love the C.S. Lewis. All
Ah,
the lines in the
Narnia.
wardrobe. I wanted to, where do those take place? I guess in Fantasyland. It's like going in a wardrobe.
Narnia.
Yeah, it's Narnia. But
I
I'm
kept
just-
trying to
don't
think of
remember,
the
like,
country. I think Narnia is a real place.
It feels like it's got to be something like Swedish or Danish or you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I'm not sure.
I'm rooting for Narnia in the World Cup.
They're like allowed into the U.S.
And of course, later people were like, it's kind of like Christian like propaganda.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had no idea as a kid.
I mean,
just-
Dostoevsky I used to
Oh.
love, and I was like, I had no idea. He was just like, you need religion to have any
Right,
morals.
right.
Or
yeah.
like, I read Ayn Rand really early
Right.
too.
Oh my
Right. No, I was
God.
like, Science Island, that sounds
Yeah.
fun.
That-
Like, we're all taking care of each other. And
I
then I was
never,
like,
Animal
I
Farm.
never read her. Is Animal Farm about?
Dark. It's very dark.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
didn't they have the
George
movie come
Orwell.
out recently?
I think
I
so.
think so. Yeah, and they did, and I think it's like they made it into a kids movie.
Yeah, they
and
made
I'm like, you made Animal Farm into a fucking kids movie?
Yeah.
Lord of the Flies.
But then also, if you read like Hunger Games, it's like the most fucking depressing shit ever.
Yeah.
And young kids are reading that,
I
right?
know. Do you remember A Wrinkle in Time?
Yes.
That
I
blew
never
my
read it.
fucking
That
mind.
was so good.
I never read it, and like I love Stranger Things, and when they had the tie-in with that I was like, oh shit, I guess I like books we exist, but you just
Yeah.
never for whatever reason
I
read
can't
it.
remember a thing about it other than I loved it.
Okay.
It was like just like time and space and
Yeah.
chaos and a family trying to find answers and Mrs. Who and what and why. And it was just like
I loved Wrinkle
it
in
was
Time.
it just like blew my mind of like what a world could be or like what like like kind of like everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are the rules
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
universe?
Yeah.
But those are some of mine. What are you guys like?
Yeah, I mean, Wrinkle in Time. I
Yeah.
said C.S. Lewis.
Let me think of what else. was I-
Babysitter's Club, as I said
Do you know
before.
Yeah.
do you know what else they had at the Scholastic Book Fair that was hella expensive? The Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God. I liked that when I was growing up. I was like, what could be my
why
record?
Are the males people always Indian?
Oh, you got to read The
remember
Loneliness
too.
of Sunny and Sonia. Have you read that?
No.
Booker Prize finalist. Very, very thick. Good.
Do you remember the I don't even know how to describe it.
Kieran
but they were
Desai
like
is the author.
trivia things they used to sell there too. That were like long.
Yes!
And they were like big thick books of
Ooh,
trivia.
yeah,
you could go
yeah.
through.
And I'm like, I'm so smart. I know so many facts.
I know.
I liked the Boxcar Children.
Yep.
Yes.
Loved Boxcar Children.
I loved Boxcar, the little
I
teacup.
bet, yeah. I
Oh,
bet you liked the Goosebumps.
Loved Goosebumps and Fear Street. Like all those books too were great. Which now like they're so dark. There's so much murder. I'm like, I was reading that when I was like 6.
Yeah.
grade.
Goosebumps was like my friend's a ghost and I didn't know. It was Sixth Sense
Yeah.
before Sixth
Yeah,
Sense
yeah.
like, was a thing.
I was a Nancy Drew girl.
I
and
was
a
a
Hardy
Nancy
Boys
Drew girl,
I
Hardy
liked
Boys.
that.
Oh, I also had the like, I had all the British things. Like I had Enid Blyton, Famous Five, and Secret Seven, which was very like it was like kids who were solving mysteries.
Okay.
But I had it because I like would go to India so much, and so every time my parents would go to India, I'd be like, I need volume 3 and 12 because I'm missing them from the Enid Blyton, and I'd like make them.
That's so
pick them
cute.
up. Yeah. So I had like a lot of like British school book influence too.
But what a nice thing to collect. I collected like souvenir spoons. Idiot. I like to collect books. It's like
My
so
Beanie
much-
Baby ass over here was
My
like,
mom was so I had stuffed animals, but like my biggest thing was books, and my mom was like, she was like, "You're reading too much. Why don't you wear pretty dresses?"
I was so funny.
She's like, "You're collecting
Your
all
mom's
these
like, do
books."
your makeup. Do something
Literally,
useful.
literally, still to this day, every time I read a book, I send it back with my dad to the office, like to put on a bookshelf in like
Yeah.
my parents' office.
I wonder
room.
if any of these like books from childhood are like, I don't know, worth something to a collector.
There's
Or
also
like a first
fucking
edition type of thing.
encyclopedias and dictionaries and
Yeah.
ACT prep books that my mom will not destroy.
That's so funny.
Like,
An
there's-
ACT prep book.
I'm like, get rid of the flashcards, mom.
Just in case you want to
Please.
take the ACTs again.
yeah.
or all the Mad Libs that we used to do too.
Yeah, I was going to say Mad Libs. That was such a big thing.
Did you guys ever read? This was one of my favorite books growing up. Do you remember the book A Ring of Endless Light? Did you ever read that?
No.
Dolphin. Need I say more?
Wait, I remember Dolphin Island.
Dolphin.
Dolphin Island.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
that one was crazy.
That was a true story.
yeah.
There's one on the tip of my tongue that like something an island in the sea, and there's like a black pearl.
Oh.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I know I'm gonna get home tonight, or like I'll be trying to fall asleep, and I'll
Wait,
think
we
of
should
50
create a
more
reading
books.
list for our...
Cute.
We're going to create a reading list
Yeah.
for our listeners.
And let us know too, like
Black
what your
Pearl
like.
Island?
What did you guys like? What did you read? Because I know we're gonna hit stop on this recording,
That's what
and
I'm saying.
gonna be like,
gonna,
shit.
I'm gonna
But
be
also this is
tossing
all-
and turning in bed at night
This
thinking
is
about this.
also regional. Like they had international ones. So I'm like curious what like international
Yeah.
you read because it's got to be something different, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so beautiful.
I love that for us.
You know, speaking of rocks, if I might just say one more thing. When I was under deadline for my novel, and I didn't think that it maybe would ever get done, you know, and I went to Idlewild. I thought I would take a weekend to, and I was under so much pressure to write. I let a man with a long gray braid sell me a crystal. And then I let him take me into the middle of the forest alone and tap me on the forehead to unblock me. And then for the entire weekend, I wrote 3 words. So it was
You were terrified this man was
it
going
was
to come murder
absolutely
you.
useless. It did nothing. But then I did end up finishing the book. So maybe he unblocked me like months
Were
later.
the
but
words "Please save me"?
like, I was so ready to do anything. I was like sitting there like this as he tapped my forehead.
You're a white friend that I worry about.
You can tell I've been hanging out with Blair Saki too much. I'm like, okay, tap me. Yeah, so I guess I don't suggest doing that.
But we do suggest buying Amy's book.
Yes.
Please buy my book, and I'm excited always
First time, long time.
to talk to readers, you know. And I
Cute.
like all these celebrities are doing book clubs, which is like, you know,
Dua Lipa.
Jimmy Fallon has a book club. Of
I don't
course,
do that.
read.
Of course,
good.
Reese Witherspoon as one of the famous ones. There's just more. I say more and more do
Yeah.
them. You know.
That's cool.
Where can people find you, Amy?
I'm on Instagram at Amy Silverberg, and I'm on TikTok, though not that often, at Amy Silverberg Rules.
That's what I wanted to ask you real quick. Book talk, so sexy.
I know I don't do that much stuff on there, but I'm always, you know, the big campaigns now for publishers is they send the book to like online influencers. So it was always like a shock to me to be like tagged online. But I
cool.
did a panel for Book Talk.
That's cool.
And you also did a panel at the LA Book Fair.
Yes, at the LA Times Book Festival. But the one at Book Talk, I didn't realize I was going as the representative of literary fiction. So they kept calling me Litfic. I was like so confused. I was like, I didn't know I had a genre.
You're like, what did you call me? So we are coming up with slurs on this podcast.
Everybody else was a version of a romance novel and all kinds of things like LGBT romance. The amount of forget LGBT romance. That's like
I could never.
a huge umbrella.
Yeah.
There's so many intricate romance novels of like enemies to friends. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's whole stores now, like Ripped Bodice.
Oh my
that
God.
I was
have,
gonna say
like,
I
all that.
love Ripped
They're
Bodice.
great.
So then I was just sitting there like, yeah, I'm just lit fic, I guess. I didn't even know that was
me, Litfic.
Which is literally like the nerd of the table. Litfic is like literary fiction. Like it's gotta be literary, you know. I don't even wear glasses. But
Do you have any bookstore recommendations? What are
oh
your favorite
God, I mean, my
bookstores?
favorite is Skylight. But
I love Skylight.
Great.
I like
Stories.
them. Yeah, we have actually so many wonderful bookstores in Los Angeles. I just found one.
The library.
It was my goal to go to every library in the greater Los Angeles area, and then I started going to casinos. I got to get back to.
Okay.
They won't let you smoke
Can you
cigarettes
please-
in the library.
We gotta
you guys
go.
should see me playing poker because I literally take out a book in between
is
hands
so
when I
funny.
get. Yeah,
We gotta go. We gotta
I'm
go.
mental.
Because I love. We started.
I'll be
doing
around you and
blackjack, too.
read.
Okay.
I'll read your
I
book.
love
We'll
that.
pass it back and forth.
Please.
All right.
I'm reading my own book at the poker table. That'd be so crazy.
Wow, what a good book. I agree with it.
And meanwhile, I'm playing poker with all like mentally ill men, you know?
Hilarious.
Men who never read.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we can Amy Silverberg.
Yeah, and order my book. You can find it at all bookstores. If you go to a bookstore and ask for it, that always helps me out. It was at the
Yeah.
airports for a little while. That was
that's
cool.
cool.
But it's
That's
no longer
fun.
a new release. So
Love that.
Comedians go there.
I know.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we won't go to a bookstore, but if it happens to be in the airport, we'll see it.
Hudson Booksellers.
Hell
That's-
yeah.
You can find me, Valerie Tossi, on all the things. My handle is just at Valerie_Tossi. I have some road dates coming up, so check out my website, ValerieTossi.com. And I finally have it. I am recording my next album.
Yes!
Woo! It's going to be I'm recording in Denver, October.
Ooh, I love
can't
Denver.
wait.
Where?
It's at October 10th. I don't have the exact location because it's, do you know, Dude, I Don't Know Creative? I'm going to do it like in part with them. And so they're pop-up. So
Oh,
they're
cool.
opening their own venue in the fall, but so I don't know exactly where yet. I will have the ticket link probably by the time you hear this. So if you go to my website, in like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh.
So yeah, so check it out. I can't wait. If you're in Denver, please come to the show. It's gonna be really fun. And yeah, I'm done. Okay, Pallavi.
And you also have Mermaid Comedy Hour.
Oh yeah. Okay,
And
so
Beach Trash.
oh my God, you plugged me.
I know, you're doing great.
My first album, Beach Trash, is available everywhere. And if you can purchase it on Apple iTunes, that's a lot better than listening to it on Spotify because we make $0. And my show, Mermaid Comedy Hour, is the second Monday of the month every month. And this month,
July
if you're listening
20th?
to this tonight is our show. We're on a different Monday than normal, and we are doing a fundraiser show for the Downtown Women's Center.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good.
And we have an amazing lineup. So if you're hearing this and tickets are still available, please come at the Hollywood Improv.
Can I also say that I'm going to Wisconsin and Chicago and Dallas in August if you
Oh my
want to
God,
come see me.
yay.
Yeah.
Our doggy on the road.
Arf, arf, arf.
Road dog.
Road dog. When people say road dog, I'm like, you don't get it.
You don't get it. My tiny little legs. She's a wiener dog. This is Amy Lore. I'm Pallavi Ganalan everywhere. And I have facial recognition comedy on the 31st of July at 10 p.m. at the Comedy Store. And I have Second Streams comedy on the 30th at the Elysian. And I'm going to be doing stuff. Oh, I'm coming to New York in October for a South Asian festival.
Ooh.
And then I think I'm going to be in San Francisco in August as well. But yeah, just send me money, I guess.
Incredible. See you guys next time. Bye.
Millennial Mood Board is created, written, hosted, and produced by Jasmine Ellis, Pallavi Ganalan, and Valerie Tossi. Music by Nisa Longa. Please keep listening and reminiscing. See you next episode. Weekly everywhere podcasts are found.